Hello and welcome to another Shaman's Guitar review. Introducing today's guitar, a Fender Mexican Stratocaster from 1993. This is only 4 years after they opened the Mexican factory, and no one seems to know when they started making Strats. I think they're making other bits and pieces in there to start with, and they had a fire about 3 months later in the factory. So this is presumably, you could argue, if you were being a cheeky salesman, this is the pinnacle of the pre-fire, the original run of Mexican Strats. Now, I have read some slightly disparaging remarks about Mexican Strats, namely about the neck pocket not fitting correctly and various other things, complaints about the pickups, which we'll get to. But this, you can't get a sheet of paper down there, let alone a plectrum or anything. It's totally fixed perfectly. It's solid. You can see the strings are equidistant on each side of the neck. So considering this is 25 years old, it's in lovely condition. I can't find anything really wrong with it. There's a tiny black mark on there, which in the grand scheme of things is nothing. Got a nice kind of Fender neck joint plate there as well, which is nice. The colour is beautiful. I don't know if you can see the sparkle in this lovely candy apple red. It's really, really nice. Proper trem block, as it should be. I did a massive dive bomb there at the end. Let's see if it's affected things. Nope. Totally cool. Totally cool. By the way, I've been running this through Keeley Caverns with a reverb and a delay on there, and a little bit of a Hudson broadcast just to give it a little bit of edge for some of the solo-y bits. So let's go through the features of this lovely instrument then. So obviously it's a pretty completely standard, sort of almost kind of a classic bits and pieces on this instrument. So you've got the classic 6-point tremolo going on there with the pressed steel saddles here. The pickups are ceramic. They're the ones with the 2 bars underneath the pole pieces. And again, people say that they're not as good as Alnico pickups. Obviously I've just played it and you can hear what they sound like. They might be a little bit toppy. It might be possible to get a little bit of a better Strat sound, but really they're nowhere near as bad as what people might make out for ceramic pickups. Standard 5-way selector switch here. As you could hear there, the tremolo system works perfectly fine. It goes back to tune, no bother at all. Frets, let's have a look at the frets here. I'll pull that aside. Bing. Just the tiniest bit of fret wear. They're really in good nick, this instrument here. And interestingly enough, I can't show you underneath the pick guard, but it does have a stamp on it saying the 16th of November 1993, so quite a specific date. I don't think they all do that. I don't think the new ones do that. And kind of standard modern style tuning pegs with a little pressed butterfly thing. So yeah, kind of time warp condition 25-year-old Strat. So anyone who tells you that a Mexican Strat or the old ones are no good and it's the new ones where they are, I mean, I've seen a few slightly dodgy looking pictures of the new series of the Strats. This one is perfect. So yeah, I think it sounds like a Strat. One thing I would mention about the neck, I mean, I think the neck is probably in a way, the sort of the most Stratty, genuine part about it. Are you ever going to get a neck any better than this, really? It's got sort of smaller frets than what you might get there these days, which is cool. The radius is fairly flat, so I can't really tell by looking at it. I wouldn't be surprised if it was sort of 10 or 12 rather than 7.5 or 9.5 radius, which is, you know, fair enough. The body, even though you can't see any of the wood, there is an angle at which you can see a join right down the middle. So I would suspect it's a two-piece of wood. I don't know what kind of wood it is. Oh, there is another mark there. I didn't see that one before. You can't really see it. But anyway, yeah, and there's a tiny, tiny little bit of flame in the neck. I don't know if you can sort of see that. And there's one single bird's eye at the top. You can see that. Anyhow, what a lovely instrument, because these are, you can get these for 350 quid. Not really vintage at 25 years old, but you know, could do worse, couldn't you, really, if you want something that's got a bit of age to it. And sounds great. And you would probably, if you wanted to change the pickups, this is as much Strat as you could ever feasibly want, I would say. What else could you possibly need? Right, I'm going to do some leads. So I've got a Maxon ST01 tube screamer. Release the fires of hell. So I never haven't retuned it at all. Just a lovely, lovely instrument. Lovely, lovely instrument. And a fantastic colour. I've never had Candy Apple Red's anything before, and I really, really like it. So apparently they spray, do they put silver or gold underneath and then red on the top to try and get the sparkly colour? Now I did notice when I took the backplate off to change the strings that it does appear to have a layer of, like, well, it looked like white actually, or maybe it's silver, but underneath the red you can see there's 2 layers. So that's kind of cool, better than just white, isn't it, to have a bit of sparkly red on. So yeah, anyone who picks one of these up, lucky, lucky thing.